There was a season in my life where everything was falling apart. And I'm not talking about a bad week. I'm talking about dark nights, very dark nights, the kind where you cannot see the other side, the kind where literally you're crying out to God in anger, why would you let this happen? But looking back now, I can see something that I couldn't see then, and I want to share it with you. That sometimes God allows things to fall apart because we would have never had the courage to walk away on our own. We get comfortable even when it's unhealthy. We get comfortable even when it's draining us and breaking us and slowly just deteriorating us. And God's saying, I've got something better for you over here, but you keep holding on to what's familiar. So sometimes He lets us crash. He lets things crash in our life. Not to destroy us, but sometimes He does it to move us. When I was going through some of my darkest times, it didn't look better to me. It looked like loss. It looked like embarrassment. It looked like failure. It looked like the end. It looked like the wilderness. I was so focused on what I lost that I couldn't see what God was building, what He was doing. There were literal nights that I felt that I could never be whole again. Moments that I thought, this is it. This is how my story ends. This is where it ends. I'm done. But that wasn't the end. It was a transition. And right now, whatever you're going through, it's a transition. I can say with clarity that literally if things hadn't fallen apart, I would have never stepped into where I am today. I'd have never been standing where I am standing today. And sometimes God will even allow opposition to surround you. The Bible tells us that He prepares a table for us in the presence of our enemies. And if we think about what He's saying, the presence of our enemies, that means they're close enough to see what God is doing in our life. Our enemies are close enough, but not close enough to where they're going to destroy us, but so God can show us who He is through us. There were people in my life that walked away from me. And maybe there's people in your life that walked away from you. Family, friends. There were opportunities that closed and doors that shut. And I cried about it, I questioned it, I wrestled with it, and I still struggle sometimes with that. But now I can see that some of those closed doors were my protection. Some of those relationships that ended were my rescue, and literally some of those setbacks were stepping stones. And I need you to hear me today, because somebody told me this when I was going through it, that it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to grieve what you thought your life would have looked like, but don't stay there. Because sometimes it's not the enemy attacking you at all. We can say it, but actually it might be God allowing something to break so He can rebuild you stronger. And if that hit home for you, I want you to pause for a second. I want you to pause and just say, thank you, God. Thank you for the relationship that fell apart because I didn't have the strength to walk away. Thank you for that opportunity that closed because it wasn't where I was supposed to be. That's not where I was supposed to stay. Thank you for the season of hurt because it pushed me to my growth. Maybe you can't see the good yet. Lord knows I couldn't either. But you will. Whoever needs to hear this, listen, one day you're going to look back and realize that the very thing that broke you, that you thought was going to end you, is actually what's positioning you. So while you're waiting, thank Him anyway. Thank Him for getting you out of what you couldn't get out of on your own. I'm standing here today because something fell apart. And thank God it did.